everybody, so this is going to be 14 tips that you need to utilize if you relax your hair. I know a lot of people that relax their hair just think of it as like another routine. They don't really know the importance of relaxing their hair, like knowing what to do before and after and during relaxing their hair to basically retain their length and to prevent hair loss. So the given tips, of course, the tips that should be a given and that should be known is making sure that you relax your new growth only. Address any breakage or shedding before you relax your hair. Do not wash your hair 2 days before relaxing. Make sure you don't wear like tight ponytails or any tight styles before relaxing as well. And do not scratch your scalp before relaxing. Those are pretty much given and pretty much known. So the first tip that I have is make sure you wait 2 weeks after removing your weaves or removing your braids to relax your hair. And the reason why is because when you're taking down your weaves or your braids, you're heavily manipulating your hair and you're also pulling at the scalp. So if you're going to put a relaxer on top of that, all it's going to do is cause breakage and cause your scalp to be irritated. So make sure you wait 2 weeks after taking your weaves or braids out to basically condition your hair and make sure you're getting the moisture and protein balance back in your hair before you put a heavy chemical on your hair like a relaxer. So tip number 2 is stop all scalp stimulants a week before relaxing. So this includes any scalp scrubs, essential oils like eucalyptus oil or peppermint oil, lavender oil, and any growth aids, and this also is for any dandruff shampoo. For dandruff shampoo, make sure you stop at least 2 weeks before relaxing your hair, and the reason being is because dandruff shampoos are pretty harsh on the hair, and you want to stop any stimulants because you don't want your pores open while you're relaxing your hair, and that's what growth aids and essential oils and stuff like that, any scalp stimulant, that's what it does. So you want to stop that a week before, and anti-dandruff shampoos 2 weeks before. So number 3, do not drink any hot beverages or exercise, or make sure you're not sweating before your relaxer. And the reason for that is because you want your body to be at a normal temperature. You don't want your body to be all hot and sweaty. And the reason being is because you don't want the pores on your scalp to be open while you're relaxing, because you don't want that relaxer to penetrate into your hair follicles, and that can cause hair loss, it can cause burning. That's the reason why a lot of people burn while they're relaxing their hair. So you want to do that to prevent that from happening. So no hot beverages. Make sure you're not hot before you relax your hair, and make sure you're not exercise, because exercise basically makes you sweat and increases your body temperature. So tip number 4, make sure you're not relaxing your hair a week before, no more than a week before, and no more than a week after your menstrual cycle. And the reason for that is because your body and your hormones are changing. So you don't want to put a chemical on top of your hair when your body is not at its normal state. So make sure you don't relax your hair a week before, no more than a week before, and no more than a week after your menstrual cycle. And this brings me into tip number 5. Make sure that if you are pregnant, that you don't relax your hair in the first trimester. And the reason for that goes back to tip number 4, is your body is changing, your hormones are changing, and your hair might not be as strong as it is in your normal state. And your body, your hair, your skin is a lot more sensitive to pretty much anything. So it's definitely more sensitive to a relaxer. And if you can't smoke, if you can't drink, then I would suggest you not do a relaxer while you're pregnant. But some women do apply relaxers to their hair while they're pregnant, but I would suggest not doing it in your first trimester, just to be on the safe side. So tip number 6, make sure you apply petroleum to your previously relaxed hair, that's everything but your new growth, to prevent runoff. And what runoff is when your hair is not protected and you wash the relaxer off. Basically that run off is re-relaxing your hair. It's not going to be as strong as new growth, but it's basically over time going to re-relax your hair. And that's why a lot of relaxed heads have thin ends. So make sure that you apply something heavy like castor oil, petroleum, conditioner, or heavy oil or something before you relax your hair. Tip number 7. Make sure you use the same relaxer every time, and if you text lax, make sure you use the same recipe. So I know a lot of relaxed heads that like to jump from relaxer to relaxer, use different relaxers, and I wouldn't suggest doing that because relaxers are different and some relaxers are stronger than others and do different things than others. So I would suggest have a relaxer, stick to that relaxer. And as far as text laxing, make sure you know the amount of oils that you put or the amount of conditioner or whatever you put into your relaxer to text lax. Make sure you understand or know that recipe every single time that you relax your hair, so you won't prevent so you will prevent over processing or like a different texture every single time. So make sure that you basically use the same relaxer and use the same recipe every single time. Tip number 8. Use the products that come in the relaxer kit. And also, if you mix the relaxer and you're not going to use it, throw it away. Do not save it for the next time you relax. The reason why you should use products that come in the kit because they are designed to work with each other and to basically bring down the pH level, which helps prevent hair loss and breakage. So things that you definitely should not change in your when you're relaxing your hair is the activator, the relaxer itself, the cream relaxer, and the shampoo. Those are 3 things that you really should not change. And as far as the conditioner, most relaxers should come with a protein-based conditioner. So make sure that you do not change, like I said, the activator, the relaxer, and the shampoo, because they are designed for a specific reason. So don't substitute one for something else. So as far as the protein conditioner, that brings me into step number 9, which is a mid-relaxer protein treatment. And this is pretty much the only exception as far as swapping out products within your relaxer. Like I said, most relaxers do come with a protein treatment. So what a mid-relaxer protein treatment is using a light protein, not a hard protein, just a light protein. I know in the Organic Root Simulator they have the Orange Replenishing Conditioner. That's a light protein. So if you're using that relaxer, right after you rinse out the relaxer and before you put in the neutralizing shampoo, what you want to do is apply a light protein on your hair for like 5 minutes. And the reason why you do that is because this is the time when the cuticles of your hair are the most open, and so the protein are able to get into your hair better and reinforce the hair fiber more better and give it all the proteins, or at least some of the proteins that was lost during the relaxer process. So definitely incorporate mid-relaxer protein treatments if you want your hair to be strong. So after you rinse out that after you rinse out the relaxer, apply the light protein for like 5 minutes. Rinse that off, then proceed to the neutralizing shampoo, and then you're gonna follow up with a moisturizing shampoo. So I would suggest any protein conditioner that comes with the relaxer, use that as your mid-relaxer protein treatment. So I know like I was saying, the Oars relaxer kit, they have the Oars Replenishing Shampoo, and that's protein based. So use that and make sure it's a light protein, and I promise you your hair will be stronger than it would if you wait till after the relaxer to apply your protein, and even before. Number 10. I believe this is number 10, hopefully. Make sure you switch to positions on which you relax your hair, and always do your edges last. So if you start on the left side of your head, next time do it on the right, because when you apply the relaxer to a specific place, that place is going, that specific place is going to relax the longest. So if you applying it to the left side of your head, then over time that's going to be the thinnest side. So make sure you swap between. And also, I hope I'm explaining this right. Also, make sure you relax your edges last. Your edges are like the thinnest, most fragile part of your scalp. So make sure you relax those last. And that includes the back too. And when I relax, I always wait until like the last 5 minutes. I apply it to my scalp, apply it to my edges, apply the relaxer to my edges, and then rinse it out. Apply it and then leave it on for 5 minutes, then rinse it out. So definitely do that. That's very important. Tip number 11. Make sure that you are either after you relax, after you've conditioned and everything, make sure that you use something to, I'm out of breath. Make sure you use something to close down the cuticles, because the relaxer really like opens up the cuticles. That's probably like the most your cuticles are going to be open when you do a relaxer. So make sure you do something to basically try to help close up that cuticle even more, and over time this is going to prevent breakage. So what you should do is do either an ACV rinse, or do a root porosity control conditioner. You can buy that conditioner or do your own mixture of apple cider vinegar and water. So basically 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with 2 cups of water. Put that on your hair, let it sit for like 5 minutes, then rinse it out with cold water, and that will help you basically retain your length if you relax your hair. Or you can use the conditioner that I suggested. And everything else, all the more in-depth description of all these tips will be in the bottom bar for you all, because I want to make sure that I'm thoroughly explaining everything. So tip number 12. Tip number 12. I know a lot of people that trim. I know a lot of people that trim every single time that they relax. And so hair only grows a half of an inch every single month, or 1/4 of an inch to a half of an inch. So if you're cutting off an inch every single time you relax, you're not retaining your length. So trimming is good, but trimming does not help grow your hair. And if you have healthy ends, then you really should not be trimming. A person with healthy hair only trims about 2 to 3 times a year, if that. So you definitely shouldn't be trimming every 2 months that you get your relaxer. So if your ends are healthy, don't do that. So maybe you can do like a light dusting if you're, want to basically have healthy ends. But don't trim, not unless your ends are bogus. And if you protect your ends before you relax with the petroleum, like I said in the step earlier, you can prevent yourself from having to trim every single time that you're relaxing. Tip number 13. I wouldn't recommend, even though a lot of people do this, I wouldn't recommend using heat the day that you relax, for the simple fact that your hair has gone under a lot, basically a very harsh process with the relaxers. So I wouldn't suggest like adding the heat, opening the cuticle even more. So I would suggest waiting like a week later or to your next wash day to use heat if you really want to use heat. So yeah, and this goes for blow drying and flat iron or any curling irons or anything like that. Tip number 14. Make sure that you are chelating. This is very important. A lot of people don't know that they need to do this, and I probably mentioned this in like every previous video that I've uploaded. Chelating. Use a chelating shampoo, and I don't have the chelating shampoo that I use, but I have it in the description below. What a chelating shampoo is, it basically lifts the minerals off of your hair, and usually minerals come from hard water, and they also come from no-lie relaxer box kits. So when you're relaxing your hair, the relaxer is basically depositing like calcium and copper and stuff into your hair, and it can't be washed off with water or regular clarifying shampoo. It has to be chelated off. So make sure that you buy a chelating shampoo and use this a week after or your next wash day after you relax your hair. So basically remove those minerals, because those minerals basically weigh your hair down and prevent any moisture from going in, any protein treatment, anything, and it will break your hair off. Those minerals will break your hair off over time. So make sure when you relax, do the chelating treatment like your next wash day or a week after, and make sure you do it at least once a month after that. Tip number 15. Make sure that you do an intense protein treatment after relaxing. So an intense protein treatment will be the Alpha-G 2-step or the organic root stimulator hair mayonnaise. Those are like intense protein treatments. I really can't think of anything else right now. So basically you want to do that on your next wash day or a week after you relax your hair. The reason being is because, of course, relaxers break down the natural proteins in your hair, and you want to basically put those proteins back. You're not going to put all of it back, because if that was the case, then your hair will revert back to curly. But it's going to basically put some of the protein back in to make the hair fiber a little bit stronger. I would recommend doing a protein treatment before you relax. I know a lot of people do that, but I think it's kind of pointless if you're if the relaxer is going to penetrate your hair cuticles anyway and rearrange and take out some of those proteins anyway. So you want to do it definitely after. And as far as your previously relaxed ends, wait to after you do your relaxer also, because if you heavily coat your hair, then it's not going to be affected by the relaxer. So that's pretty much all the tips that I have. If you have any questions, let me know down below. If you want to make a response to this, if you have any tips, make a video response or comment down below, and I'll see you all later. Bye.